Have you ever wondered why it feels so painful to be alone sometimes? Why your heart aches in the silence, even when you try to stay strong? That ache you feel, it's not weakness, it's not a flaw, it's a signal, a sign that your soul is longing for something deeper, something divine. And what if that very ache is the way God begins to lead you to your soulmate? Most people think they are being punished in their lonely seasons. They think something is wrong with them. That maybe they're not worthy, not enough, or not lovable. But the truth is, you're not being punished. You're being prepared. You're being shaped, refined, and rebuilt for a love that is real, pure, and lasting. Before God introduces you to someone special, He first separates you. He clears out the noise, the distractions, the people who weren't meant to stay, so you're really meant to. And in that empty space, He starts to work on your heart. It hurts, doesn't it? That silence, that waiting. Watching others find their person while you sit with your unanswered prayers. But what you may not realize is that silence is sacred. It's the space where you begin to meet yourself. It's where you confront the parts of you that are hidden beneath the surface. The fear, the insecurity, the unhealed pain. God brings you face to face with your own soul before He lets someone else hold it. That process can feel brutal. You might cry in the dark. You might feel forgotten. You might question your worth, but you are not forgotten. You are being focused. You are not being ignored. You are being transformed. Because you can't receive deep love when you're still carrying shallow wounds. You can't hold someone else's heart when your own is still bleeding. That's why the waiting season is sacred. It's the season where you finally learn how to love yourself the way God loves you. This is where most people give up. They run from the silence. They numb it with distractions. They chase temporary people hoping to escape the feeling of being alone. But healing doesn't happen in the crowd. Growth doesn't happen in noise. The most powerful transformation happens in solitude. And it's in that quiet space where you begin to hear the truth again. You are worthy. You are whole. You are already enough. You might be thinking, but I'm tired. I've waited long enough. When is it my turn? And I get that. The pain is real. The wait is long. But here's the reward if you stay with it. God doesn't give ordinary love to people who have been through extraordinary pain. He gives you something sacred. Something worth every tear, every lonely night, every silent prayer. He gives you someone who doesn't just fill your time, but fills your soul. That kind of love takes time. It's not rushed. It's not built on the surface. It grows from the inside out. And before it reaches you, God prepares you. He makes sure you are strong enough to receive it, that you are secure enough to keep it, that you are healed enough to not sabotage it. Because deep love requires deep roots, and roots grow in darkness before they ever reach the light. So don't despise the season you're in. Don't curse the loneliness. Don't doubt your worth. This is the season where everything starts to change, not outside, but inside. This is where you stop begging to be chosen and start realizing that you already are. You are being chosen by the one who sees your future, not just your feelings, and He's not late. He's just preparing you for something greater than you've imagined. Stay with me, because this journey is about more than finding someone. It's about becoming someone. And if you're willing to walk through the silence, to endure the waiting, to grow through the ache, what's waiting on the other side will make sense of every moment you thought was wasted. Let's keep going. When you're in the waiting season, it's easy to feel like time is slipping away. You start comparing your path with others. You wonder if you missed your moment or if God forgot about your heart's desire. But what you don't see is how precise divine timing really is. If love arrives too early, before you're ready, it can break you instead of build you. It's not that love is missing. It's that you are being protected from a connection that could collapse under the weight of unhealed pain. There's a reason why some doors stay closed longer than you'd like. It's not rejection. It's mercy. Because when you rush into something not meant for you, you risk losing parts of yourself just to keep it. That's not love. That's survival. And you weren't created to survive love. You were created to thrive in it. You deserve something that grows with you, not drains you. That honors you, not confuses you. So many people ask, oh, why is God taking so long? But maybe the better question is, what is He trying to grow in me first? Because the right love requires the right version of you, not the insecure you, not the fearful, desperate version. But the healed, whole, and powerful version, the one who knows their value and never begs to be seen. That version of you will recognize true love, and more importantly, you'll be ready to receive it. Timing is everything. Love that comes too soon often feels like pressure, not peace. It demands instead of nurtures. But love that comes in divine timing doesn't shake your foundation. It strengthens it. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend. You just show up fully as you are, and it fits not because it's perfect, but because it's real. Waiting with trust is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it's also one of the most rewarding. Because when it finally arrives, when God says, now, everything that didn't work out will suddenly make sense. You'll realize it wasn't a delay, it was alignment. And you were never behind. You were being prepared. The truth is, love doesn't begin when you meet someone else. It begins when you finally meet yourself. Before you ever connect with another soul, you must first reconnect with your own. That's why the inner work matters so deeply. Because without healing, you'll mistake intensity for love. You'll call chaos passion. You'll chase people who reflect your wounds instead of your worth. God doesn't just want to give you a person. He wants to give you peace. But that peace begins within. You can't carry fear, resentment, or bitterness into a relationship and expect it to thrive. Love requires a clear heart, not a crowded one. So if God is asking you to sit with your pain, it's not cruelty, it's clarity. He's helping you make space. Not for just anyone, but for the one who's meant for you. When you do the inner work, something powerful begins to shift. You stop settling. You stop chasing validation. You stop trying to prove your value to people who can't see it. That's when your energy changes. That's when your standards rise. That's when you begin to reflect the kind of love you want to attract. Because it's not about finding someone to fix you. It's about becoming someone who no longer needs fixing. The work is quiet. It's not always pretty. Some days it feels like you're walking through fire. But what you're really doing is refining your soul. You're building patience. You're learning boundaries. You're discovering the difference between loneliness and alignment. And in that process, you become magnetic. Not because you're chasing love, but because you're becoming love. Because you're becoming love. When you're healed, you don't beg for attention. You don't confuse connection with destiny. You walk in truth, knowing that what's meant for you doesn't have to be forced. That kind of energy creates room for the right person to enter. Someone who doesn't complete you, but complements your growth. Someone who recognizes your worth because you already do. And when that day comes, you'll realize God didn't just send you love. He prepared you to receive it. There's a shift that happens when you start becoming who you're truly meant to be. You begin to notice the change in what you allow. You stop entertaining what drains you. You no longer feel attached to temporary connections that once made you feel needed. That shift is not by accident. It's a sign that God is preparing you. He's removing distractions. He's closing doors that no longer serve your growth because something better is on its way. You'll begin to see the signs in your own behavior. You'll crave solitude, not to escape, but to protect your peace. You'll feel more drawn to truth, to depth, to things that align with your values. It's not that you're becoming cold, it's that you're becoming clear. Clear on who you are and what you no longer accept. And in that clarity, your spirit begins to rise above the noise. That's where preparation lives. There will be moments where you feel like you're outgrowing everything around you. Friends, places, even parts of your old identity. That's not loss. That's growth. When God is preparing you for a divine connection, He starts within. He begins by shifting your focus, redirecting your energy, and pulling you closer to what's real. And even though it can feel like isolation, it's actually alignment. You'll know you're being prepared when you start feeling peace, even when nothing is happening. That inner calm is proof you're stepping into your worth. You're no longer desperate for love because you've become love. And from that space, you don't chase, you attract. You don't beg, you choose. The people who once fit into your world will start to feel distant, not because they changed, but because you did. Every sign matters. Every shift counts. These changes aren't random. They're God's way of whispering, I'm getting you ready. He doesn't just send love into your life, He sets the stage for it. And when it finally arrives, you'll recognize it not by how loud it is, but by how peacefully it fits. There's something powerful about the moment when you stop searching, when you stop trying to force everything into place. That's usually when the most beautiful things begin to happen. Because love doesn't always walk in with a grand entrance. Sometimes it finds you in the quiet moments, in the peace you've built for yourself, in the life you've created by healing, growing, and becoming. God often introduces your soulmate when you're no longer obsessed with finding them. When your heart is full, not from someone else, but from your own alignment. That's when love walks in, not as a rescue, but as a reflection, not to complete you, but to walk beside the person you've become. And it often shows up when you're not looking, because you finally stopped reaching and started receiving. It's strange how the right person appears at the exact moment you've made peace with being alone. That's not coincidence. That's divine timing. It's the reward for doing the inner work. For choosing healing over hurry. For trusting that what's meant for you won't need to be chased. It just fits. It flows. It feels like you've known them forever, even though you've just met. There's no pressure, no confusion, no pretending. The conversations feel natural. The silence feels safe. And the connection feels real. It's not a fantasy. It's the result of becoming the person who's ready for that kind of love. When you're walking in purpose, love finds you on that path. Not in distraction, but in alignment. You don't have to search the world for something that's already written into your story. What's meant for your soul will recognize you. It will meet you on the road you are always meant to walk. Not when you're desperate, but when you're ready. That moment is not about luck. It's the outcome of trust. And when it arrives, you'll know, because it won't feel like something you have to hold on to tightly. It will feel like something that was never going to pass you by. There's a moment when everything just clicks. You don't force it. You don't question it. You feel it. That's what divine timing feels like. It's not dramatic or overwhelming. It's calm. It's peaceful. It's right. When God brings the right person into your life, it doesn't create chaos. It creates clarity. You won't have to beg for consistency. You won't have to second guess their intentions. You'll simply know, deep in your spirit, that this is different. This kind of connection doesn't feel like the ones you used to chase. It doesn't feel anxious or unsure. It feels grounded. You're not constantly wondering where you stand. You're not shrinking yourself just to be chosen. You're standing tall, and they see you, all of you, and still, they stay. That's what love feels like when God sends it. It doesn't shake your foundation. It steadies it. You might think something this peaceful can't be real, but peace is the sign. Peace is the proof. Real love doesn't come to take from you. It comes to add to what you've already built. And when two whole people come together, the relationship doesn't complete them. It multiplies their strength. That's why the wait is so important. Because without the waiting, you wouldn't have known the difference between pressure and peace. When God aligns you with the right person, everything that used to confuse you suddenly makes sense. The pain, the growth, the silence, it all led to this moment. And the beauty of divine timing is that nothing feels rushed. You're not trying to catch up. You're not trying to hold on too tight. Hold on too tight. You're just present. You're just grateful. And in that presence, you realize something powerful. God didn't just give you love. He gave you understanding. He gave you alignment. He gave you someone who doesn't just fit your heart, but fits your future. Love from God always comes with purpose. It's never just about feelings or chemistry. It's about destiny. The person he brings into your life isn't just there to make you feel good. They're there to help you grow, to walk with you through the challenges, to pull the greatness out of you, not just admire the surface. Real love will challenge you in all the right ways, not by breaking you down, but by helping you rise higher. When God sends your soulmate, it's not just for comfort, it's for calling. They'll see your potential even when you don't. They'll speak life into your dry places. Shout. They won't let you settle because they know there's more inside you. That's how you know it's divine. It's not about completing each other. It's about building something greater together. Purpose-driven love doesn't drain. It fuels. This kind of connection isn't built on convenience. It's built on commitment. It grows through honesty, through shared values, through vision. You both see something bigger than yourselves, and that shared vision becomes your anchor when life gets hard, because even in the struggle, you know why you're walking together. You're not just lovers. You're partners in purpose. That kind of love leaves impact. It blesses others. It multiplies peace. You start to notice how they reflect your inner work. The more you've healed, the more whole they are too. It's not a coincidence. It's alignment. Because God doesn't bring people together to stay stagnant. He connects souls that are ready to grow together. And when both people are rooted in purpose, the relationship becomes a foundation, not a distraction. Love becomes more than emotion. It becomes mission. You support each other, push each other, believe in each other. That's not fantasy. That's what happens when God writes the story. You're not just in love, you're in alignment. You're not just holding hands, you're building something eternal. When you truly understand that your love story is in God's hands, everything changes. You stop trying to force outcomes. You stop begging for clarity. You stop chasing people who were never meant to stay. You begin to trust that what's meant for you won't need to be controlled. It will unfold naturally. Trust is the highest form of faith, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. It's not easy to let go of your own timeline. It's not easy to watch others fall in love while you remain in the waiting. But when you trust God with your love story, you shift your focus. You start becoming instead of searching. You focus on healing, on growing, on walking in purpose. Because the more you become who you were created to be, the more you align with the one who's being prepared for you. There is peace in surrender, there is strength in patience, and there is power in trusting that you are not forgotten. The wait may be long, but it is never empty. Every moment of silence is filled with intention. Every delay has purpose. Every unanswered prayer is still heard. God is not withholding love from you. He's setting it aside until the time is right. The person meant for you won't be confused about you. They won't make you question your worth. They will meet you where you are, and together you'll rise higher. But until that moment comes, your job is simple. Keep becoming, keep building, keep trusting. You don't need to prove your worth to be chosen. You already are. Letting God write your love story doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the inner work with faith. It means believing that the right heart will recognize yours. And when that moment arrives, you'll know it wasn't luck. It was purpose. It was timing. It was love sent, shaped, and sealed by God Himself.